Hi everyone! So OwlCrate Junior's November theme is Parallel Worlds, and today I'm going to give you some book recommendations that will hopefully get you hyped up for this box. So Parallel Worlds is such a common theme in so many great classics like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, The Chronicles of Narnia, but I wanted to give you some other book recommendations that might not get a ton of attention. The first book that I have here is Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. This is part of the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, and this one deals with West African mythology, which is really cool. So in this book, the main character is Tristan Strong. At the beginning, he's going through a really tough time. One of his best friends just died, and he's grieving, and he feels like no one understands him. So to kind of help with this, his parents send him off to his grandparents' farm in Alabama, which he's not very happy about. And then on the first night in this farm, he gets this like weird, strange, doll-like creature steals one of his books, and he starts chasing it, and in this chase he starts wrestling this creature and tries to retrieve the book, but while he's doing that he kind of punches this giant hole in our world, and it opens up this giant portal into another world, and that's kind of where this crazy adventure starts. It's really good, and I definitely learned a lot of cool new mythology, so check it out. My second book here is Homerooms and Hall Passes. So I was at the bookstore a few weeks ago, and there was so much hype about this book. There was like a whole table dedicated for this book, and I was like, okay, I have to check this out. And I gotta say, it was worth the read. It is super funny. So basically, if you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, or if you're interested in the game, or if you like Jumanji, I assure you that you will like this book. So what happens in here is the book starts off with 5 characters who are like the typical characters that you will find in D&D. So there's a wizard, there's an assassin, there's a barbarian, and they live in this like fantasy world, and they play a role-playing game called Homerooms and Hall Passes, where they pretend to be your typical kind of like middle grade student. But then one day they get cursed and they get stuck in a real middle grade school, and they kind of have to like navigate their way out of it. And so they have to like pretend to be like actual kids at school in like a regular world. So it's kind of reverse D&D, but it's super funny. I was so impressed with the writing, and I understand all the hype now, so really recommend this. So my third book here is Wildwood by Colin Meloy. This was written a few years ago, and it gained a lot of attention because Colin Meloy is like the lead singer of the Decemberists. And I'm listening to this on audiobook right now, and it's really, really good. It's a thick book, but I really recommend listening to it on audiobook because the narrator is just doing such a fantastic job. But basically, this book follows the main character, Prue, and her friend, Colin. So it starts off with Prue lives in Portland, and she's like taking a walk with her little baby brother, and her baby brother gets like kidnapped by crows and gets taken into these woods that are just outside of Portland, which they call the Impassable Wood. It's kind of like an alternate Portland. And Prue and her friend Curtis have to go and save her baby brother. So they enter into these woods, and they get swept up into this crazy world that's full of like talking animals and really complex politics, and yeah, it's really fun. The illustrations in this book are gorgeous, but yeah, I would check it out. My next book here is a graphic novel called Estranged, and Corey actually recommended this to me, and it's really good. The illustrations are beautiful. So basically, in this book, there's 2 characters, Edmund and one that doesn't really have a name. His name is just Child. And these boys have been swapped at birth. So Edmund is a fae creature who lives in the human world now, and Child is a human creature who lives in the Fae world. And they kind of like find each other, and they have to then kind of like go on a quest to like save each other's homes. But it was really good. I was like really impressed with the art and the writing, and I really liked the world building in it. So yeah, I would, yeah, I really liked it. Okay, I couldn't do a Parallel Worlds book recommendation video without talking about Coraline. I watched this movie like a million times when I was a kid, but I've never read the book till yesterday. I started reading it, and I'm halfway through, and I'm really, like, I love it. It's so good. So for those of you that haven't read it, Coraline is about a girl who lives in this like giant house, and her parents kind of are like really busy with work, and she's super bored, and she finds a mysterious door that leads into this other world where she meets kind of her other mother and her other father, and it's really creepy and spooky and really cool. Yeah, I really like this book. And my final book recommendation is his Dark Materials series. This is just the graphic novel version of The Golden Compass, which I found at the library yesterday. I didn't even know they had a graphic novel for this, but they do. And it's a really good time to dive into this series because the show just came out, and I've been hearing really good things about it. Philip Pullman has been releasing more books that take place in the world of Lyra. So the series starts off kind of in our world, but it's a little bit different. There's like some fantasy elements to it. So the humans in Lyra's world all have little animal creatures called daemons. The series follows Lyra and Will as they go into this other world full of specters and witches, and it's really cool and haunting. The world building in the series is fantastic, and I remember as a kid just like loving it and wanted more of it. So yeah, check it out. It's really cool, and maybe pick up the graphic novels as well. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my recommendations. If you have any more book recommendations that deal with parallel worlds, alternate universes, let me know in the comments below. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and stay awesome.